Alright, it's time once again for Driving Thoughts with your co-host, Steven Adams. Hey guys, interesting thing I've been thinking about a lot lately. Confidence. And becoming successful in any career, any aspect, or any part of your life takes a lot of confidence. And along with confidence, it takes another thing called perseverance. And how those two work together. So that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit today, is how to help yourself be more confident. So let's take a step back, take a look at life here, and we'll just talk about myself, because I am only the expert of myself, and I can't really speak for anyone else. And that's an important thing to understand, is each of us must only be responsible for ourselves. Now, we can help other people, we can coach them, we can mentor them, but realistically, I can only speak for myself. So, growing up, I grew up in a family of 6 kids. There's a lot of us. And interestingly enough, I was the first kid. I was the oldest. But when I was about a year, my parents adopted they adopted my 2 older brothers. And they came from a really, really rough family life and needed a lot of attention. So all of a sudden, in the beginning of my life, I was like kind of like the rising star. I was that one only child for just that year. And then all of a sudden, my parents really had to give a lot of attention to my older brothers. And also at the same time, my mother was having her second child. So all of a sudden, in really 2 years, my parents went from having no children to basically having 4 children, all under the age of 4. And 2 of them really needed a lot of help. The youngest was my youngest brother, and then me. We all were right there. And that dynamic kind of created something interesting, because all 4 of us are very different people. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's kind of actually quite amazing and quite perfect. I mean, we all get along. We all are very independent. And I think it's a really good thing. But for some reason, I was one of the kids I can only speak again for myself, I wasn't always very confident. I had no confidence in myself, which is weird, because usually the firstborn is very confident. And I didn't have that confidence in myself on all my skills. I never really thought I was good enough. I never really thought that I was excellent at anything. I never really felt like I was able to succeed. I always felt like I had to prove to people that I was okay. And first I had to prove to myself. And that confidence was always lacking. It's like I played baseball. I was okay. I was actually pretty good now that I think about it, but I didn't have the confidence behind being good. I was a good baseball player, and I probably could have actually gone quite far in it, except that I didn't have the self-confidence to keep going, which gave me not enough perseverance to keep trying. So, all of a sudden, when I played baseball all the way up through high school, and I quit. And it wasn't because I didn't like baseball, it's because I loved baseball. But it was because I didn't have the perseverance and the confidence to keep going. And I didn't have a really good coach at that point in my life who was like building on my successes. I only had coaches that were like knocking me down, telling me what I had to improve on, which doesn't build confidence. It just makes people less confident. And as I grew, it's like I just didn't know what to do. It's like there was a lot of people who didn't think that I was going to succeed in college. Well, they were right. I didn't succeed in college. Failed in college because I didn't have the confidence to keep going. I didn't have the perseverance to take all the studying and do all the classes that I need to do. I didn't follow through. Failed miserably. But there was a lot of life lessons in that. When I got into hair and into the beauty industry, it was a little bit different because all of a sudden I had a mentor who believed in me. That's what it takes. You have to have someone who's going to believe in you, because that was the first time where I started to feel confident in myself. And it's because I had someone else who also believed in me and kind of pushed me. That doesn't mean that they always agreed with me. It doesn't mean that they said, oh, you're great. No, I mean, they're like, okay, this is what you're doing that's really well. Here's what we're going to fine tune. I need you to practice this. Do the sectioning over. Do that over. Do that again. Do that again. Blow dry again. It was a repeat. But because I had someone that was confident in me and believed in me, I improved. Now, if I had coaches back in baseball days, or when I played basketball, believe it or not, I actually played basketball in high school too. When I had a basketball coach, if my basketball coaches actually believed in me, I probably could have been a lot better because I had the perseverance. I loved basketball. I had so much drive and energy, and I practiced all the time, and I wanted to improve, and I went from being terrible to okay on my own. And I was okay. I made varsity, whatever, but it's like, if they had believed in me and taught me the skills that I needed to know, because I was self-taught, I could have been so much better. But I didn't have a coach that believed in me. They just wanted to put in the tallest people and just use me as a fill. Until the last game where I made this incredible shot, and the coach is like, when did you learn to shoot like that? And I said, if you pay attention, I've been shooting like this all year. But because if you don't pay attention to people, you miss out. And a coach has got to pay attention. And you got to reward. And you got to support and mentor and coach. Now, how does this all build into confidence? What does confidence have to do with anything? To be successful at anything, there's a key thing with confidence. One, you kind of have to believe in yourself, and that's hard. That's the hardest part. You have to believe in yourself, that you're good at it. Make it in your own perception, and you create your own mind that you're good at something. Now, when we were all younger, I remember being younger and, kindergarten, I was really good at drawing. I thought I was great at it. But as I got older, I started looking at what everybody else was doing, then looking at my drawings. And I started to compare. And as I compared, I started saying to myself, oh, theirs is better than mine. Oh, theirs is better than mine. And the more I start looking back and forth at other people, the less I believed in myself, and the less confident I got. And that's where confidence starts. You have to first believe in yourself. And to truly believe in yourself and be confident in something, First means you need to stop comparing yourself to other people. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be aware of what else other people are doing. But you have to just be confident in believing in what you're doing and trust that what you're doing is your best. I have this conversation with my children all the time. I'm like, I don't care what kind of grades you get in school. I don't care whether you're a star athlete, whatever. As long as you're passionate about what you're doing, you're having fun, and you're doing your best all the time, that's all that matters. And by doing that, it builds confidence. But it also builds perseverance. Perseverance is that drive to continually do your best. That's what it takes. Perseverance is to have that drive to constantly push yourself, to constantly want to improve. You have to have both of them. So the confidence starts with self-talk. It starts with you believing what you're doing is good. When you don't believe what you're doing is good, or that you don't deserve it, or so-and-so is better, your confidence level is already down. And you want to make sure that you really truly understand, no, you are good at it, you are capable to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that your coach or that your mentors or that your peers aren't going to push you, because they need to push you, because that's how you improve. And part of doing your best means to constantly push yourself to do better. If you're always doing the same thing over and over and over, you get bored. And that's where burnout comes in. Burning out in any industry, whether it's doesn't matter what it is, but I see it a lot in the hair world. So many people, usually after about 5 to 7 years of doing hair, they start to burn out. And they're like, oh, I gotta work less. Oh, I'm just working too much. Oh, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over. Well, if you actually look at what they're doing, it's because they are doing everything exactly the same over and over and over. And they're not pushing themselves. They become comfortable and complacent. That's the right word. Complacent. And when you become complacent and you get comfortable and you just go into work, do your thing, leave work, you're not doing your best, and you've lost your perseverance. And what starts to happen is your confidence level goes down, because then all of a sudden you get a new person who wants to do something you don't know how to do, and you talk them into doing what you always do. You've created a cycle. You've created a challenge. And I think what has to happen in any industry and any career is you want to be able to really, 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 really force yourself to be perseverant. Have lots of perseverance in improving, getting better. Always improving, always getting better. Because that's where growth is going to happen. And that's how you're going to become more successful. It's not really, the skill level matters, but not really, because you can improve. I learned this actually from when I was in beauty school. It's kind of funny. When I was in beauty school, there was a lady who came in, I forgot her name, but she would come in. And I saw her regularly every 5-6 weeks. But when she first came in, the very first day, she sits down in my chair and she's like, I want a razor cut. Do you know how to do a razor cut? Now, At this point in my career, I was a little egotistical, which means I had too much confidence, more confidence in my skill, and I was fearless. Now, that came out of two reasons. One, I already started doing an apprentice program with my friend Harry, who got me started into hair. And I worked in a salon, so therefore, I thought I knew everything when I was in school. Well, realistically, I'd never picked up a razor. I had no clue, and nor should I have ever done this. But I was like, of course I totally do. And because of my confidence, I started to do her hair. And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to do a razor cut. So I went to go do this razor cut on her, and I didn't realize how sharp that blade was. And I didn't realize the gentleness it takes to use that tool. And so I kind of just hit it with really hard, and I basically went right through a big chunk of her hair, almost down to her scalp, and I was like, freaking out, because I almost cut her, and then I was like, okay, I need to learn how to use this. But here's the greatest thing, is she comes up, she's like, don't worry, honey. Don't worry. I'm like, what? I just jacked your hair. She's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to keep coming in every 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm going to come in, and you're going to practice, and you're going to get really good at it. Well, and that's exactly what happened. We persevered together, worked on it, we improved. I constantly improved. It took me a long time, actually, to master the razor. Still, personally, I don't feel like I mastered it. I just spent last night doing hair side by side with Mr. Nick Arrojo, and he pushes me. I look next to him, I watch what he's doing, and I'm like, he does it so well, so masterful. And I'm close. I feel like I'm right there, but not always. So what does that tell me? That tells me I need to persevere, go back home, pull out a mannequin head, pull out a picture, and practice. Because I want to make sure that I get exactly where I want to be. I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I should be so much better. Oh, I'm so bad. Because that would kill my confidence. My confidence is, I have the skill. I know how to use this. But to get better at it, I have to do a few things. And the things I need to do is practice more. The other thing I should probably should take another class. I've taken like 6, 7, 8 razor cutting classes. I've done hands-on classes and demos and practice with the best. But that doesn't mean that I've mastered it. It just means I took a few classes. Now I have to do the hard work and actually pull out the mannequins and actually practice and do it. And actually, I feel as if I'm really good at the razor, but I want to get better. So to become really successful in our industry, we have to have confidence. To get confidence, you have to believe in yourself and understand where your skill level is. Be realistic about it. It's like you can't have a bloated ego. You cannot think that you're better than you are. You just have to be realistic, but you have to believe that you can do it. It's 1. 2, to have self-confidence, you have to tell yourself over and over and over, I am really good. I can do this. Because there's enough people out there in the world that are going to tell you you can't. You're not good enough. You can't do it. You suck. You have to be able to have the skill and understanding. Third thing is you have to surround yourself with people that are going to support you. those are the things that are going to like help you improve. And those are the things that are going to help push you to become better. And the fourth thing that you need is perseverance, meaning you can't quit. You can't give up. Because of people telling you can't do it, you cannot quit. You have to persevere and improve. And you never lose that. You have to hang on to that for the rest of your life. You have to constantly improve. You have to constantly get better. Because if you constantly are working on improving and getting better, guess what? You will. If you do the same thing over and over and over and over, eventually you're not going to ever get it wrong. You will always do it perfectly. When I was learning to play basketball, I sat in front of that basketball hoop and I shot over and over. I just shot free throws over and over and over and over. My parents would be like, you've been out there for like 4 or 5 hours. And I'm like, doing the same thing. And I'm like, yep. Because I wanted to get better. When I played baseball, I pitched. And I wanted to throw that ball and throw that ball and throw that ball. And I always wanted to get a strike. And to do that, I had to do it over and over and over. To become a great hair cutter, I had to sit down and practice and do the same haircut over and over and over to get better at it. To switch from, I used to be just a hair cutter, and as I was cutting hair, when I opened my salon, I decided I needed to have the skills to become a colorist. And so I had to practice foiling placements over and over and over. And I'm still learning them. I'm still working at it because you can't stop. You have to always improve. And that's the point that makes the difference between someone who is compliant, bored, that's burning out, that's fried. Whenever you get to that point, there's a few things you've missed. One, you're not reminding yourself how passionate you are about something. Two, you're not challenging yourself to improve and to get better. And three, you're kind of like listening to all the chatter around you that might not be so positive. So realistically, what I hope you got out of this is confidence comes from you, from the people you hang around with, and just from practicing and getting better. All right, Driving Thoughts. Hope you enjoy it.